If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. This video is going to be a guide on how to build a list in boarding actions. I do not have the boarding actions compendium yet, but I have all the information to make a Genestealer's list for one of the Genestealer's cult detachments, Genespawn Onslaught. I will go over what units can be selected for the Genestealer cult detachment, as well as detachment rule, enhancements, and stratagems for that detachment. Finally, I will provide a list for the Genespawn Onslaught detachment. How do I know what I can put in my list? The new compendium has 55 different detachments, excluding knights, with different detachment rules, enhancements, and stratagems for a total cost of 500 points. Each detachment will have a list of different units that can only be selected in that particular detachment. Then we can choose from the 6 core enhancements or choose from the detachment-specific enhancements. In boarding actions, enhancements cost 0 points. The detachments will have access to the 4 core stratagems as well as detachment-specific stratagems. Now let's look at one of the Genestealer cult detachments as an example. Here we have the Genespawn Onslaught. You can include up to 2 of the following units. Duplicates are not allowed: an Abominant, a Benefictus, or a Biophagus. And then you can include up to 2 of the following units: Aberrants, 5 or 10 models. And then finally, you can include up to 1 of the following unit: a Hybrid Metamorphosis, 5 or 10 models. First, let's go over the Genestealer cult boarding actions army rule. Insidious ambushers. The opponent must deploy their entire army, then the Genestealer's cult deploys their army. Now let's go over the Genespawn Onslaught rules. So the detachment rule is Blessed Visages only triggers when an enemy charges a Genestealer cult unit. If the charging unit fails a battle shock test, -1 to the hit roll in combat for that enemy unit. For the enhancement we have is Spiteful Imp. It deals mortal wounds when an enemy opens a hatchway within 1 inches of the bearer. And once again, enhancement costs 0 points, making it an interesting choice of which to choose, since there are quite a few good core enhancements to choose from, plus the detachment enhancements as well. Then we have 2 of the stratagems from the Genespawn Onslaught. One is Unstoppable Brutes. It allows aberrants or abominants to move, advance, or charge through a closed hatchway, leaving it open for the rest of the game. Also, if there is an enemy unit within 1 inches from that hatchway, that unit can be charged even if it was not visible. Then we have allows a metamorph unit to do the Set Overwatch tactical maneuver and the Secure Sights tactical maneuver at the same time. Now let's go over the Genespawn Onslaught list. The list is 465 points, and we use the current Field Minotaurum for the points, but we don't use any of the rules changes that come with any of the updates. If there's going to be any changes to the boarding actions detachments, they'll have their own separate article about those changes. So for our list here, our Warlord is the Benefictus for the Peerless Leader enhancement for 80 points, and remember, the enhancements don't cost any points. For our characters, we have the Abominant with the Close Quarters Killer for 75 points. For our other data sheets, we're going to have a 5-man group of Aberrants for 150 points, and then a big 10-man group of Metamorphs with the Auto Pistols, just so I can use the Benefictus ability with the Battlefield Command to give that big Metamorph group lethal hits on the shooting. And then for our enhancements, the Peerless Leader is a once per game use of Battlefield Command stratagem for 0 CP, even if it has already been used on a different unit this phase. Then we have Close Quarters Killer, which is going to be on the Abominant, which allows the bearer to re-roll the wound roll in melee. That will make him a little extra punchy in melee. So that's the list. I'm sure there are some Genestealers players that can probably make a little bit of a different list that might be a little better, but I do like the look of this list. It does look pretty punchy with the Benefictus, with the big, strong shooting weapon. It's only 1 shot, but it is a lot of damage, a lot of strength. And then there's quite a bit of melee and some shooting with the auto pistols from the Metamorphs and the melee from the Aberrants. So that's pretty good. I do like the look of this list. On to the final thoughts. This is just an example list using the Genespawn Onslaught detachment rules for the boarding actions. I was able to get most of this information for Warhammer community, and Goonhammer has some great articles going over some of the detachment rules. They don't have the army muster rules, but they still are great articles for learning the detachment and some of the stratagems. I will link them in the description. Check those out because they are great articles. When I have the boarding actions compendium, I will start making detachment videos going over all the rules with an example list for each detachment. And I'll have all the rules and stuff that way, so just in case I messed anything up in this one. I'm really excited for this new boarding actions rule set. I cannot wait to start creating some boarding actions battle reports. subscribe for more Warhammer 40k videos and boarding actions content. Thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.